In this video, we will look at the CAD Viewer in Mobius. The CAD Viewer is the default viewer. When developing scripts, the CAD Viewer will generally be used to check the generated models. The CAD Viewer incorporates various tools for interrogating the model. For example, selecting entities and viewing attribute values. In the top right-hand corner, there are two buttons. One for getting more help, and one for settings. The CAD Viewer has 5 settings tabs. We will briefly review the settings in each tab. To update settings, change the values and click Apply. Settings are saved in the Mobius script file. The Scene tab contains settings for various components in the viewer. The display of the XYZ axis can be enabled. The display of the position entities in the model can be enabled. They will be displayed as black squares. The polygons in the model can be displayed in wireframe mode. Summaries of the number of entities in the model can be enabled. The GI summary will show the number of entities in the Mobius model. The 3H summary will show the number of lower-level entities. There are various settings for the camera, the grid, and the sky background. For the camera, you typically set up your desired camera view interactively in the view. Then once you are happy with the view, you go to Settings and click the Get button. This will set the settings to match the current view. Then, when you save the script, these settings will be saved. This means that next time you open the script you will automatically see the saved view. For the grid, clicking the Get button will create a grid that is centered on the current model. The Colors tab allows you to set the colors of entities in the model. Polygons can have 2 different colors, one for the front and another for the back. This can be useful when debugging. It allows you to easily check which way polygons are facing. The face front and face back colors will only apply to polygons that do not already have a color. If the vertices of the polygon have an RGB attribute, then they will override the colors in these settings. The Lights and Shadows tab allows you to set up the lights in the model. There are 3 lights: the ambient light, the hemisphere light, and the directional light. For all lights, the intensity and color of the light can be set. None of the lights have a position, since these lights are not affected by position. The directional light has settings for creating shadows. The Environment tab allows you to define settings for the ground plane. This will add a rectangular base polygon to your model. If shadows are switched on, this polygon can receive shadows. The Selection tab allows you to set up Selection drop-down menu. This menu is the one on the right-hand side of the viewer. By default, it has all 5 types of entities enabled: collections, points, polylines, polygons, and positions. Next we will have a closer look at the attribute table. The attribute table can be shown in the bottom half of the viewer. The divider can be dragged up and down. The attribute table has tabs for different types of entities. The first tab is the Model tab. This shows the attributes defined for the whole model. The layout of this tab differs from subsequent tabs. In this case, each row represents one attribute, with the name on the left and the value on the right. In subsequent tabs, each row represents an entity in the model, and each column represents an attribute. The attribute table can also be used for selecting entities. Collections, objects and positions can be selected in either the attribute table or in the viewer. Topological entities can only be selected in the attribute table. Each column represents an attribute. If the attribute is a list, such as XYZ or RGB, the attribute may be displayed using multiple columns. Each column has 2 buttons at the top. The arrow button allows you to sort the entities in the table in either ascending or descending order. The I button allows you to display the attributes of selected entities in the 3D viewer. At the bottom of the attribute table, there is an option to only show selected entities. This can be useful when the model contains a lot of entities, and scrolling up and down becomes problematic. The Sub-Entities tab allows you to drill down. There are two types of drill down. For collections, you can drill down into the contents of the collection. For objects, you can drill down into the topological entities that make up those objects. Objects consist of point, polylines, or polygons. Topological entities consist of wires, edges, and vertices. If you double-click a row for a collection or object, it will open up the Sub-Entities tab. The Sub-Entities tab for topological entities contains a mix of different entities. In the example that is shown, we are looking at the sub-entities of a polygon, shown in the first row. The second row is for the wire that defines the outer boundary of the polygon. Subsequent rows are for the edges, vertices, and positions that make up the wire. Each edge has two vertices, and each vertex has one position. The indentations show the hierarchy in the data. The table is currently showing the attributes for the positions. If you click on another row, the table will switch to showing the attributes for that entity types. Another option in the CAD Viewer is to overlay text on top of the viewer. This is referred to as a heads-up display. The heads-up display is created by defining a model attribute. The name of the attribute is HUD and the value is any text that you want to display. The text will be displayed in the top left corner, on a semi-transparent background. In this example, some floor areas for the model have been displayed.